Let me at him!
Well, there it is. Hello guys, welcome to what will be a map review for a fan map that was sent in. Selix, otherwise known as Jorgenvik, I hope I got that right. He asked me to take a look at this map. It's a 2 versus 2 map, and he wants to basically promote this idea of double gold mines. Now, as we know, Undead and Night Elf are going to incredibly struggle with this one, since you can only really have a haunted gold mine. So I'm going to straight off the bat just say that we get rid of one of these gold mines, okay? I know that is basically essentially the premise of this map, but currently there is no way to make that work as far as I know, unless there's very talented map makers that want to take this challenge on, but I very much doubt it. So we'll have to just take it from a logical point of view and remove these gold mines here, and then go from the middle and scroll outwards so you can get a rather, well, generous view of the entire map as it starts to lag out as I start to bring up too much to look at. So as you can see, the players at the bottom will be allies. This is a 2 versus 2. The players at the top will be allies. They will march towards each other through the obstacles in the middle, sparsely around, and maybe creep enough powerful stuff, get enough nice items to go and progress and destroy their foes. So let's have a look and see what is on the way. So as a realistic starting opportunity, we're going to start off with what would be a green creek camp, level 1 charged item. Let me refresh my memory as to what a level 1 charged item might be. Apparently there isn't a level 1 charged item, so that could be a problem. It has to be level 2. Otherwise, I think if you killed this guy, he probably wouldn't drop anything. That's a curious one. I can't quite test it right now because I'm going to be taking a look at the map from this aspect. We're not going to be testing the map or anything like that because it's going to take me a little while to just go through this. But there we go. Level 2 charged item for the level 4 Shaman. So he's a bit harder to pick off, but still a Blade Master could solo this guy. And at the same time, he's got some nice creeps around to damage the Blade Master whilst he does pick this off. So I think this creep camp is particularly balanced for the most part from what I can tell. Because yes, a Blade Master can solo that, but he will take damage doing so. That's kind of the way you want to look at it. When you're thinking about balance, you think about the current meta of Warcraft. Orcs are almost always going to go Blade Masters. They love to go to shops, sell their town portal, pick up a circlet, kill what will be the most vulnerable creep. This guy's only got, what, I think it's hang on, how much health has he got? 550, it's quite a lot, but if a Blade Master sticks to it. Then again, he can rejuvenate himself, so maybe that's even quite anti-Blade Master to a degree, which is no problem at all, so we'll leave it at that. And as we can see, it's just going to be mimicked on this side. So the other green spot available for either player on their starting side will be a level 1 power item. Now, we definitely have one of these. That will just simply be like plus 50 health or something like that. Yeah, 50 health, 1 to intelligence, strength or agility. That's okay, but I don't know if I would want to waste my time on that creep, especially since it's a level 4 creep with 550 health. You're much more likely to put that on one of these little fellas. So perhaps if you got rid of this guy and had 3 of these, that might make more sense. Or if you did keep this guy in, definitely up that to perhaps a level 3 power up item, a charged item rather. So that way you can maybe get yourself a nice potion of greater healing or something along those lines to progress towards this creep camp. We can see it steps up a little bit. We're getting into orange territory. Now this is actually really unique. Like, you really aren't very generous with these drops. I'm just going to say that right now. These creep camps aren't necessarily the easiest. They're not the hardest. They're pretty well balanced overall. Level 15 for orange creep camp. All of those trolls are quite easily killable for the average army at this point. But well, I'm going to get onto that in a second. What's the deal with these level 1 power items? Stop that right now. Amp it up to level 2 power up. We want to see some spice. So for this fella, I really like this idea of scroll of speed dropping. It's a 100% chance. Now this kind of almost made me think, because obviously I play a lot of Hearthstone, as you know. Now you can get classes from other cards using abilities like Burgle, Fort Steel. Basically, for those that don't play Hearthstone, you can steal opponents' classes' spells, which they only have access to unless you steal them. So this is kind of very similar. It's like perhaps you're an undead player, and there's no way you can get scroll of speed as undead. But what if there was a creep on the map that's sort of like, you knew existed on the map if you were taking the game seriously, and you were like, I've got to get to this guy to kill this, to get that 100% scroll of speed so that later on I can use that for a particular strategy that I want to activate in my strategy game plan. You know, it doesn't have to be scroll of speed, it could be anything. It could be mechanical critter, it could be even a slightly higher level item, maybe along the lines of Orb of Huam. Now, wouldn't that be spicy? Imagine how hard you'd dash to try and kill a creep if it dropped Orb of Huam. That's Orb of Corruption, the one that gives -5 armor. I think everyone would just throw every single unit. Peasants, peons, wisps, freaking acolytes. I almost called them necros or something. Acolytes as well. Okay, well this is where we get off to a rough spot. There's something fundamentally wrong right here, is that even at night time you might struggle to get past these creeps. Okay, so if you're gonna have this happen, you're gonna need to extend. Don't know if I can really easily do this. Perhaps there is another way. Okay, so let's amp this up. So maybe do that instead. That's obviously a rough edit, you get the idea, but you have a way to get round. But I would personally prefer that if you were thinking from the player's aspects, they go to click on the middle to get to the tavern. Either way, they're going to kind of bump into these creeps, so it's annoying. I've always been annoyed with creeps that are just kind of in the way. You know, like if you want to get to an objective, you want to right click your unit there, but you don't want to always have to be thinking, oh okay, there's the skeleton creeps coming up, I've got to move my acolytes slightly lower down and then moving back onto the path towards the middle. But then there's that other creep camp that will 100% aggro if he's going in that way, so then I have to move him out of the way to get. I don't really want to have to be worrying about that so much. I know that adds an element of depth, but it's mostly annoying depth. And level 2 power up item for a level 6 750 health dude. I know you're getting access to this Fountain of Mana, but that might be a little bit disingenuous. So let's amp that up to a level 5 charged item, or perhaps a level 4 permanent item. I would say it would be much more acceptable, and this dude would probably be more along the lines of dropping. Let's have a look. Well, if you really want to go down that road of frickin' scroller speed, perhaps you want to chuck in some. Let's have a look. What have we got? How about a Rod of Necromancy? See how that spices things up as well. That would help your creeping patterns, but that would be really cool. A Rod of Necromancy to get from, say, for example, a weaker creep camp, like a not the easiest green camp, but maybe a mediocre, difficult green camp like this one. If you know what I mean. A bit more effort, but if you get the Rod of Necromancy, then you can really plow on and do the orange creep camps. Okay, so I don't mind the idea of a Fountain of Mana, but don't have 2 of them either side. I know you want to make this as symmetrical as possible, but really what you want, if you want to get the most out of your map, and I'm not a pro map maker by any means, so take this as a pinch of salt, however you like it, but, you know, move these guys over here, maybe that might be better, something like that, and then more around the corner, is if you just had 1. So it makes it difficult to do that, I know, but where would you put the 1 if you've got the tavern? So if you have that issue, it's actually probably easier just to have a tavern like down here, or in between for either player, like here. Yeah, off to the side there, so both players can access it, and then another tavern here, so both players at the top can also access their one, if you know what I mean. And then that way, you kind of maybe have this Fountain of Mana in the middle, and you can group all of these fellas up there. And yes, I know they're in the way of the middle again, but at least you definitely know that that middle is not accessible, because that way you'll be like, okay, I can't go straight through the middle, I can take this path or this path. So do I join up with my ally and go this way, or do we go our separate ways and then meet up past these creeps, or come around from the flanking sides, or group up together, pull these creeps up and try to creep them. Meanwhile, the enemy team could be having the same idea, and they could have their army there, and then they can proceed towards the Fountain of Mana and enjoy that position whilst you're creeping these up the top here, knowing that these creeps are going to be pulling back, and they've also got control of the Fountain of Mana. So I quite like the idea of that. But perhaps we don't want the cliff to be quite so close, so maybe pull the cliff from here just slightly back. That way the players can see each other a bit more clearly. Otherwise it's going to be like anyone standing here won't see anything past this point. So let's have a look at this creep camp over here, which is the Merc Camp. Hello, long jump. Okay, so level 3. Okay, you're a bit more generous this time. Level 3. Well, he's only got 400 health, so he's not really that hard to kill. So level 3 permanent item. It's actually fairly reasonable actually for this little fella. Claws of attack +9. In fact, yeah, Blade Master, that's where I would go if I was knowing this map inside and out. That is A1 number place. These creeps won't do much damage. Like, don't get me wrong, they'll batter the Blade Master a little bit, but that dude right there, he needs to be a bit... +9 is too much. It would need to be like a level 2 permanent item. Now, I was having a go at you for having like too many low level items on these creeps, but for this one I would actually put it up to level 2 and perhaps bump this guy up to level 2 as well. Level 2 charged items, so perhaps this creep camp could drop 2 lots of level 2 things rather than a level 1 power up and a level 3. Only because the Blade Master can deal with that so easily, but you know, you can always mix and match it how you like. Don't forget that when you're creeping this creep camp, you also get access to this, you know, Mercenary Camp. And if it's the Fellwood one, then you've only got the shitty creeps. You've got the Satyr, and you've got the Furbolg Shaman. I don't know if I can search for them. Neil, maybe I can find them. So I'll tell you which ones you get, because I just know Warcraft 3 fairly well. I have been playing it a little while. You get this little fucker, that's the first one. Then you've also got the Furbolg Shaman, I believe is that one. And then you've definitely got the Thunder Lizard. I don't think you get any more creeps out of this creep camp. So to be fair, that's not the best creep camp, because no one really buys this guy. This guy's pretty worth it, but he normally takes quite a long time before he's available. So it's not always a bad idea to necessarily creep this camp and then have access to it. Like a Night Elf might enjoy this. You know, easily put down an Ancient of War here, and the risk reward you get is you get access to this creep camp. You creep this off easily, get yourself a nice item for your Demon Hunter perhaps, but your Ancient of War is miles off. So yeah, you're more likely to put your Ancient of War up here, but perhaps you don't get such a good item. So think of it that way. That's just how I'm looking at it anyway. So this I like. You've got one either side, and what you basically got is you got 23 levels of creeps, which is pretty damn powerful. That's respectable for a red creep camp. So you've got this annoying dude which does mana burn. He's an absolute pain in the butt. Then you've got Clutter in front that's just going to get in the way. Also this guy can curse, so that's the guy you get, the Shadow Dancer. It's actually a level 3 one, not level 1, or perhaps it is a level 1 you get from the thing, but anyway, level 2 charged items, so you know that's just sort of like your Sentry Wards, your Wand of Illusion, Replenishment Potion, Wand of Lightning Shield, so nothing special, but still nice to have a Sentry Ward, especially if you get in the middle, because you can drop it down, so it gives you access for like 6 minutes for the rest of the map. You've gone a little overboard here though, but I kind of respect that, because of what this guy can drop, because you've got 2 of these mana burning twats. So a random level 7 item. Do we want to see what a level 7 item is? Let's take a look, shall we? Claws of attack +15, Kellen's Dagger Escape, Orb of Frost, and Ring of Protection +5. Market Square, anyone? Yeah, it's the corner creeps in Market Square, and that belongs to a level 8 creep. This creep here is also a level 8. So in that regard, it is balanced. I actually did test the map a bit earlier just to make sure that you couldn't just dispel this guy and kill him straight away. I wanted to see if there was some sort of a way to cheat around it, so I just put a bunch of priests down, researched dispel, and just tried to spam at him. It doesn't work, but the priest actually did respectable damage to him, because he's only got 3 armor, but it's heavy armor. So he could actually be nuked down by like casters, but then that makes sense as well, because that's tier 2, so you work your way up. So, okay, well that is generally the map, the creeps. So let's have a look at the lanes. So player 1, if he was to proceed, he can take this angle, this angle. So bear in mind that this opens up opportunities for the enemy. They've got narrow pathways either way, and they can try to come around the back here. So it's going to be difficult to block your base off, I would say. I'm not sure what else I would change. Perhaps I would make that higher ground, but then that messes with this as well, so it's kind of tricky to pull that off. But anyway, oh, what? We've got a creep camp down here. I missed this one. Oh, that's good. I quite like that, actually. Level 2 permanent item. Yeah, that works. This dude's, what's he up to? He's got himself level 2 permanent item, 550 health. There you go. So Blade Master can have some fun with that, or 2 people can team up and get it. Oh my. Okay, so yeah, you got this higher ground to go through in the middle. Got a few obstacles in the way, trees dotted here and there. Maybe work a bit more on the aesthetics, but if I suggest that you go to hiveworkshop.com and take a look at the other sort of like melee maps, you'll see obviously the higher rated ones. People put a lot of effort into sort of like the aesthetics, just the textures around the actual doodads as well. Like these doodads are nice, they give a nice sort of like feel, but for example, perhaps you might want to put a little bit of blighted ground here as well to show off the demonic, you know, sort of like inspiration. Little things like that, and then maybe get a little no, you don't want that much. That looks like bloody oh, what's his name? Oh, it's gonna kill me now. The red. Kill Jaden. There he is. That's the guy. Kill Jaden. Yeah, you got like, you already got crates in here, so you got kind of the idea, and you got a few skulls there. So yeah, just sort of like textures as well. Just mix and match it a little bit, because otherwise it gets a bit too. Well, that doesn't really fit there, but perhaps that fits more around this. So you get that kind of vibe of this is that kind of like more natural jungle feel. But I don't know if I agree with the pigs. I'm not sure if the pigs really fit into this map set very well. They're much more well suited to the barrens. But if you want to throw them in there, go for it. And like I say, anything like this, if you have that, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I get what you're trying to do and try and split things up, but it sticks like a sore thumb. So you either just sort of like put some clutter around it, or you just go and make an actual proper river or something like that. Like that. I don't know. You get the idea. That way players have to come around there. They could be kited. These creeps could be pulled around there. You can creep, but then another player can come around and gank. There's all sorts of opportunities, but I like the idea of what you're trying to do, and it's a very good attempt, I must say. This is unnecessary though. That Dalaran light really highlighting the Murlocs there. I'm not sure what's so special about them, but it doesn't have to be Murlocs in the middle, but something special there, something for the players to fight up for. Because bear in mind, this is a 2 versus 2 map. Really, it's not going to be 1 versus 1, because then the gold mines are way too close on this side. It's 2 versus 2. Lots of stuff to creep on the way. Shops accessible, Merc Camp, Goblin Laboratory, all in good positions. Players can coordinate in terms of which creeps they want to go to, what they want to access, and whether they want to get to that power of the middle. So, all in all, yeah, it's actually very good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And have a good one. I hope this little review helped you in some new way. Perhaps. Anyway, take care. I'll see you later.